Welcome to the Beast of Bourbon podcast with your hosts, Jeff,
Joe,
Mark,
and Riley.
Each episode, we will discuss topics related to bourbon,
as well as anything else that pops into our head.
Because after all, we don't know jack.
On a more serious note, if you have a friend or loved one who has a drinking problem,
please know there are resources available to help you.
Always drink responsibly. Hey, Joe, you were reading a book that
I was reading a book.
Yeah,
yes,
I haven't read it yet. Yeah, tell us about it.
Bottom shelf, and I actually I didn't know a whole lot about the author Fred Minnick, and but he's really been a spirits writer. He was a writer, got into writing about spirits. He wrote about wine years ago. It didn't really catch. He didn't really connect with it. Is what I got out of the book. And then got into bourbon when he moved to Kentucky. The book is, I should say, it says it's how forgotten brand of bourbon saved a man's life. There's kind of parallel stories about. He talks about really his life from an adult. He's a vet. He was in the Iraq War, and has PTSD issues that he talks about pretty freely in the book. But he was kind of going. He was trying to find more about the history of Old Crow, and so he was doing a lot of research in between, getting married, having a family. But Fred's, I heard about the book on the Bourbon and Beyond podcast. He's on that. And it's an interesting read. I didn't get as much out of the Old Crow part of it that he had, that he talked about. That was his passion over several years. I thought his story was very interesting. And he's battled some mental health issues, and so hearing him be very, very frank about all of that was very interesting. And I enjoyed the book. It's an easy read. I'll be curious what you think about it. Maybe we can talk about it more on a future episode when you get a chance to read it. And but I recommend it.
My family will tell you it takes me about 2 years to get through a book, but I'm happy to make a bigger effort and try to get through it in maybe a year.
We'll be going that long.
Yeah, it's an easy read when you're traveling too.
Fred Minnick has actually become quite renowned as far as the world of spirit writing. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I have a different book of his, and I can't remember the title of it, but again, well written, well researched. It was a book talking about some of like the old legacy distilleries, if you will, and the chain of command from their founding distillers all the way down to current times. So that was pretty interesting. I think the title of the book was like Bourbon 101 or something like that.
Yeah, he has a book about the women of bourbon too.
Yeah.
All the women that have influenced bourbon over the years.
Well, he's looked at spirits from a couple of different angles, and his writing, like you said, Joe, is really, really good.
And there's the bourbon. There's a festival in Kentucky, a music festival that.
Oh, Bourbon and Beyond.
He co-founded the magazine, and he talks about interviewing Metallica when they were coming out with their whiskey, and he's a huge Metallica fan, and so he talks about when he got a chance to interview him and how he's pretty much ready to he's trying not to turn into the fanboy, and but so that part was pretty funny. But it's a good book, good read. He usually, when there's a major tasting or like the new riff
competition
winning an award, he's usually involved in those. If it's in Kentucky, he's definitely involved, but he's very well renowned in the bourbon industry, and we are following him on the Beast of Bourbon Facebook page.
Yes.
So
waiting for that refollow.
Well, Riley, all these key words have to go in the show notes that
Yeah.
you are a friggin' genius when you write up.
You do tend to put
Um,
lipstick on the pig.
yeah, um,
Thank you.
I
I mean,
I admire your ability to wordsmith.
Yeah. That's a skill, man.
So,
got to give some credit to Mr. Claude, my favorite helper too.
Ah, yes,
hmm,
Sir Claude. Well known,
hey.
well known helper. Joe, do you have any other hints for your quiz?
Well, first, before we
Okay.
get to that, ask me about my first time playing golf in about 13 years. So
Right.
you
So
forgot.
what was the occasion? How'd they even drag you on the course?
We did a department outing and it was a par three. And
Do you have a
uh,
par three on your property?
yes, it's a 10-hole par three. Um,
Did you mistake the three for an eight? Is that what happened?
no, if you would like to continue to guess, we'll see if you guys can figure out the defining moment of my round.
No,
When
talk.
you,
So how did you? So you got into it through a company outing,
Yes.
and you didn't want. There was a little bit of FOMO. You didn't want to be sitting on the sideline, all these other people golfing.
Well, yeah, we were all playing and we had teams. We were playing a scramble.
Where'd you get clubs?
They have them. So,
When I come
and
out, I don't have to bring mine.
well, possibly. And on so the first hole, we were uh, all walking to get our balls, and I was helping someone find their ball that was in the rough, and I bent down to pick it up, and my pants split.
Yes.
that's great.
Welcome to golf.
Half a hole.
Oh,
So nine and a half more holes with split pants.
nice. That won't distract you much.
Oh,
That is just not an image I need for the rest of the weekend.
God, my game sucks enough as is. I couldn't imagine playing with split pants. Ugh.
well, champions overcome adversity, as they
That's
say.
true. So, did you enjoy it?
No, it was fun. We didn't I mean, we had one birdie. I hit a couple of greens. It's all the greens are, or all the holes are. I think the longest hole was about 115 yards,
All right. So
and
there's the short part three.
yeah, and there were several holes that were under 50
Oh,
yards. So,
look at that.
yeah. So but it was nice getting out there, and I joked that I would have preferred to split my pants than coming back injured. So,
It's true.
um,
It's true.
if you gave me the choice of the two,
Yeah, you
you
take the
could be
split pants.
injured or split your pants.
I think that's a fair decision.
Fortunately, I
So
don't embarrass easily.
you can't with us. Did you like it enough to go again?
Yeah, I probably will. I've got to do some serious work to even think about playing um,
Get to a
uh,
range.
a regular, 18 holes because, um, fortunately, I mean, I think I used sand wedge every hole uh, but the one that was about 115 yards. I think I used a 9 iron on that because it was pretty windy too. But yeah, I need to do some serious limbering up um, because if there was video, I'm glad there wasn't video because that would have been embarrassing. No, the splitting my pants.
Well, funny you should mention if there were a video. Riley, do you want to show Joe the video of him hitting balls and splitting his pants?
Let me,
We'll say that for a later episode.
yeah.
I actually made somebody cry at work later on that day too. Someone was coming around offering they had cupcakes, and I said I really don't need one. And she said, well, you seem like you're indecisive. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure I don't, since I split my pants out on the swing earlier today. And she laughed so hard she literally started
Um,
crying, and she was apologizing. I said, no, it is funny. Um, so I made someone cry at work. At least we got that out of it.
but
And my wife laughed uh, just about as much.
Well, it's good that you've now documented it on here for HR to know that you made someone cry at work. So that's great.
I told my boss.
All right.
Of course, I teed that up like, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. I made so and so cry yesterday, and then he looked at me, and then I told him, and he laughed too. So it's all
All
good.
right. So what are the hints
All right, the hints.
Rebel Yell?
So
I have two thoughts, but I'll
uh,
wait for your hints.
an iconic rocker. Um, he let's see, he dreamed one of their biggest hits and riffs, um, and woke up the next morning and saw his tape recorder was at the end and played it back and realized that the dream was real, and he woke up and sang part of it and recorded the riff. Um, he's famous for iconic riffs. And if you don't get it with this one, I need three new podcast buddies. Um,
You've been saying that for a while, though.
hold on, dogs are getting upset because my wife is leaving. Shh. This is the climax of the story, dogs.
Come on, dog.
He has a co-writing credit on a song that we derived our podcast name from.
It's Keith. It's Keith Richards. Yep.
Yeah.
There's Keith
Very nice.
at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas in November of 2021
Nice.
in the rain. He was about 10 feet away from me there.
That's pretty cool. That's
Well,
pretty cool. You have those feet.
And I think that's where you get to say things like you hung out with Keith Richards one night.
Oh, this is actually, I'll tell you a story that actually is embarrassing. So this is during the solo of Sympathy for the Devil. And I'm literally where I am on the side of the stage. I'm literally about 10 or 15 feet. Just before this, while he's doing the solo, Mick comes over and puts his arm on Keith's shoulder while he's playing. And I move it to video. And I mean, you know how big of a Stones fan I am. I've got the video of my life. And then, and it's 10 seconds, and Mick goes over back to the center part of the stage. And I realized I didn't hit record.
We've all been there.
Did you wave him back over?
Yeah, that's where I was looking for the remote control to do the rewind.
Oh, you know what though? It's going to
So,
live in your memory.
yep. But I got great pictures
Yep.
at that show. So, and I had to dress up like the Gordon Fisherman because it was raining pretty hard.
You'll be in the nursing home saying, "I was 10 feet away from Keith Richards."
But he doesn't even
So,
have to wait for that. He's been telling us that for a while. So
Yeah.
But so that's the bourbon fun fact.
I like that one.
good stuff. All right.
I have
Good.
a fun fact quiz if we have time to get it in. All right. Name the top 5 bourbon producing states.
Well,
First
I'm
one
going to
should be
guess.
obvious. First one should be obvious.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Hmm?
Tennessee,
All right.
California, Indiana.
Hmm? Riley, you got any shots at this?
Is Texas in there?
The top 5. I feel like this is like the David Letterman. Top 5. Kentucky produces 95% of the bourbon made in the U.S.
And according to them, there is no bourbon that's produced outside of Kentucky.
Right. Depends on who you ask. Indiana clocks in number 2. They do a lot of contract work. A lot of contract work. Tennessee is number 3 after Indiana, which I was surprised by.
Well, Jack Daniels.
Yeah, but after Virginia, though, I thought Tennessee would be the second one. Number four is Texas.
Hmm,
I would not have guessed that, but that makes sense,
it
Riley.
does make sense. Yeah.
There is a lot of distilleries here.
And number five, which I had no clue on, Virginia.
Hmm.
Virginia has
Interesting.
a long history of bourbon producing.
I'm stunned at Virginia.
Yep.
I get the others, but I'm stunned at Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't recall tasting something, turning the bottle and seeing Virginia.
Yeah.
But again, I think they do some contract work.
Hmm.
Um, but historically, Virginia has always produced bourbon.
We'll have to see who distills out of Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
more
know.
you
Oh,
know.
speaking of Jack, um,
We don't know.
who we don't know, but did you hear that basically Buffalo Trace is trying to buy Jack Daniels?
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah,
well,
they've got like a $15 billion offer out there, the parent company. So
Do you
that's
that's
get
that,
like some email newsletter that you're keeping track of this stuff?
my Google feed is pretty much
just bourbon
bourbon
and
and rock stars.
and soccer.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. All right.
So, um, yeah, that would be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I think that
Worth
I love the
following.
top five list. I find that
Yeah.
fascinating. Now I'm totally, I think I have a business trip in November to Virginia, and as I always like to do you have something that's local? Um, which I did recently in Colorado this week, and just always enjoy finding something, finding something local. So I'll pencil that in for my trip later this year.
Jeff, what other tastings have you had recently?
Um, I was in Colorado this past week, and I was in Fort Collins, and there's a distillery it sounds like it's been around for quite some time called Old Elk. And as usual, I asked for, is there anything local? And the server immediately said Old Elk. It was really good. It was really good. So that would be the most recent. There was a work tasting that we did. In fact, it wasn't even my idea, and we did a work tasting. Sorry, a bourbon tasting for prospects. And my boss said, "Boy, wait till Jeff finds out about this." And there was one tiny bottle. It is unfortunately not in the $40 range. It's more like three times that amount, but it was called Kinfolk Trust American, which is out of Washington State, specifically Bainbridge Island, which is just across the water from Seattle.
What's
Nice.
its name again?
Kinfolk, Kinfolk, Kinfolk.
Hmm.
It was smooth and delicious. So, if you're feeling like you want to celebrate something and try something new, and you can find it, highly recommend it. So, but no, it's been doing what I always do. I always enjoy tasting more new things.
Nice.
You also tasted Frank August.
I did. I hadn't even heard of that name. I
I haven't.
texted. I texted you all.
Yeah.
I was out to dinner and last Saturday, and it was on the menu, and I was like, "All right, never heard of it. Let's try it out." It was very good. Also smooth, a lighter taste than New Riff today. Not as thick, not as molassesy or maple syrupy, but had a bite at the end, but it wasn't harsh. It
Yeah.
was just a little bite, and it was not a hug. It was just a bite at the back of your throat. It was real. It was very good, very tasty. Glad I found something new.
Nice.
Yeah, I had some same thing out to dinner several months ago. And then when you brought it up on the text thread yesterday when I was at Specs, they had it and I almost bought a bottle. It was only, I mean, it's a little more pricey. But it was only 65. So it wasn't crazy.
That's not
Right.
bad.
That's not bad.
But
Yeah.
then the guy pointed me that hogs, what is it called? That Hogsworth. That's kind of a blend. It's made by it's distilled by the original distiller of Whistle Pig
Cool. Oh,
out of Vermont.
mm,
It's also made out of Vermont.
nice.
And he was all excited about it because he lived in Vermont for several years and loved it. So I bought that instead.
All right. Well, it was good to have brunch or bourbon for brunch with you all.
Never a
Well,
bad,
it's now afternoon. You can just keep day drinking.
right?
Or as we
Darty.
used or as we used to call it back when we were in college, drinking.
Drinking. Yeah. There was no clock involved.
Nope.
And again, thank you all for listening, paying attention. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please leave comments, leave questions, hit us up on the socials. And
Yeah, we'd love to get questions. I would love to get some questions from people on the socials.
yeah,
And don't hold back.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you haven't gotten it from now, we take a lot of crap from each other. We could take it from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all
Sign
right.
up for the next episode. Thank you. See you all
Thanks,
then.
everybody.
See ya. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.